Welcome back to The Informed Entrepreneur. I am Heike Hamann with Idea Share Business Coaching, and today we're speaking with Michelle Hammer of Turning Leaf Wellness. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Doing well, thank you.
Good to see you here. We're at your facility, which is still in the process of being remodeled, but tell us a bit about your services here.
Okay, so we offer a wellness garden, and we have a variety of services that basically we are trying to nurture the body, mind, and spirit. That's our mission. So here we have a variety of health services, from counseling to coaching, cooking classes, massage, facials, yoga. We're trying to have one location for an umbrella of things that people need or want to do to help them stay well.
Right, and you mentioned earlier you've been doing this for about 8 years, and you just moved to this location about a year ago.
Exactly, yes.
In an effort to expand your services and your footprint.
Yes, we've owned this center for 8 years. Before that, I've done a lot of work in my field. I'm a counselor, and my husband is a chef. So before that, he worked a number of years doing other things. And we've merged two different fields with the hope of making people excited about being well and healthy.
That's a really good concept.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about your team. How many people work here? What do they all do?
So we have about 12 people. We have 4 therapists, an office admin, office manager, a chef, a sous chef, a facialist, a couple massage therapists, and a part-time yoga instructor. And then we also have a life coach. So I'm doing the numbers, and I think it's like between 10 and 15.
Right, right.
A couple of partners, people who rent space from us to provide their service. They already had a great amount of experience in the community and a following and rich connections in this area who offer to partner with us. And then we have employees as well, and people that are doing their own thing under contract. So it's a unique situation based on which service.
Right.
We have a lot more knowledge about some of the services than others.
Yes.
Experts do their thing.
Right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Now, we should mention that the clinic used to be in Pasadena and has recently relocated to Severna Park outside of Annapolis, so the geographic area has changed, but certainly you've mentioned you have long-term clients and patients that have moved here sort of with you.
Yes, been loyal to us, and we do appreciate that. We're doing a community day in the fall to thank everyone for what they've done in supporting us, family, friends, patrons. So it's been a challenge getting to a new area and trying to relocate and expand and offer new services. But it's really starting to come along. We're excited about it.
So how do people find out about what you offer? How do they find you, or how do you find them?
So we do a lot of marketing, which we've learned is very important. But people find us either through our website, through some of our marketing advertisements, and then insurance companies refer to us for the counseling, coaching end of things.
That's fantastic.
Word of mouth too, I forgot to mention, is a big deal.
Yes.
A lot of word of mouth.
A lot of people in business know that that is one of the most important and most valuable ways to get business, is word of mouth and referrals. Now, we talked a little bit about the age range of your clients and patients. I'm not sure what to call them based on all the different offerings you have here.
I know.
So what age range do you serve?
So we serve children and adults. The children tend to come more for counseling or coaching and the cooking classes. They love those. More adults come for massage and counseling and the facial piece, but we have a lot of adults taking cooking classes and doing demonstrations as well.
Right.
So it just depends upon which service and which provider. But I definitely see for the massage and facials and things like that, it's mostly adult.
Yes, and you mentioned that it's 60% female, 40% male, which is also a very good mix, especially in health-related fields that often skew towards women. But you've managed to balance that out.
In some services more than others. So.
Yes.
I think I definitely see, I think the 60% is women. And we definitely see a higher number of women in the facials and in the massage interestingly. But the gap tends to minimize for counseling and the cooking classes, which was surprising to us. We weren't sure the number of men that would come to the cooking classes, but I see a lot of couples and they get excited about it, and then they come and they tell their friends. We're having a lot of couples coming and taking classes, which is awesome.
Yes, because it can be a calming hobby in addition to just plain providing nutrition.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about the challenges you've seen in bringing such different disciplines together under one roof.
Which each discipline needs, and meeting those needs when they conflict with another discipline. For example, you need more space for cooking classes and it can get lively, but massage and facials and counseling are quieter.
Yes.
Or unless there's some conflict going on in the counseling room. And then that can affect other services too, when they are trying to relax and maybe falling asleep or whatever for massage. So what we had to do was carefully plan which services went where in the center and how they wouldn't impact one another too much.
So you have some soundproofing going on too.
And spacing. So we have the facials and massages in the very, very back of the center.
Okay.
Where there's no windows and it's really dark.
Right.
And then more towards the front was where we put the lobby area and some of the counseling that was for individuals. And then on the complete opposite side, we have the kitchen going in. It's going to be completely separate.
That's a really good idea. Considering that I would imagine a lot of people that come here have full-time jobs, do you offer a lot of services at night?
Yes, we do. That's another thing that we had to get accustomed to, is working different hours. Generally, even our administrative staff, because it wasn't working having administrative staff here 8 to 4, and then having a lot of people in the community wanting services from say 2 to 8.
Right.
So we definitely work Monday through Thursday, 1 to 9. The staff basically. We do have ability to serve people in the morning or on the weekends, and we do some of our services like the cooking classes and facials on the weekends as well, but our main administrative hours have been weirder than the average person. It's not the typical 8 to 4, 9 to 5.
Have you found that to actually be an advantage to finding staff because some people want that flexibility?
Especially with people working here trying to break out into their own and still holding on to something part-time. They haven't fully just become an entrepreneur or their own entity, or but they are getting there.
So you're actually, besides the employees, you're helping some future entrepreneurs to get a foothold in the community. That's fantastic.
And try to ease their way into private practice.
Yes.
And we also don't have a non-compete clause. Some of the other counseling agencies do that. We just felt that we didn't want to have someone here and have to feel like they needed to stay here, or patients not be able to follow them. So we're okay with, it's like our babies, you know? We're trying to help them grow and then say, okay, bon voyage, take your patients and go.
That's a great attitude that really sets you apart from many others. So in terms of challenges that you've overcome in growing this to, I would imagine, starting from 1 or 2 people to now 12 to 15, what have been some hurdles, and have you gotten some advice along the way that you can share with other business owners that are in a growth phase?
There's been a lot goes through my mind, but I think the biggest hurdle at first was discerning our vision and direction when we were trying to merge 2 different things together. And then finding a location that could accommodate that was super tough. As well as balancing the added expense of moving and paying additional rent to offer a new service that you don't yet have the revenue for. That was huge. So we got a lot of advice from other people who do financially well on how to plan for that before we did the move. How to have a cushion and money to sock aside for the slow times when you're trying to advocate for new services and it's not going to happen overnight. And then also we've had some assistance with taxes, with the implications of changing the size of the business, you know, the insuring it, going from an LLC to when should you become like a corporation, or does it make a sense to become something different at what point, and how many employees would you need and have to do that.
So the people that advised you with this were?
We had,
CPA, banker, lawyer, or?
Yes, I had spoken with a lawyer. We also spoke with the family members that we trust. I spoke to a couple people at my church, in my small group, who I respect, who have done things independently on their own, who seem to have success in it. So I think we just got a lot of advice from different places. My husband had a mentor at his work, his supervisor, who was kind of gearing him up for when you're leaving a company and you're going completely on your own. These are the things to look out for. So
That's really kind of someone to provide that kind of guidance.
Yes,
And it's
exactly.
certainly advisable in any kind of business circumstance that you help others in some kind of mentoring capacity.
Definitely.
Now, what are your long-term goals? Is this it, or are
No.
you looking to branch out?
So really, this is a temporary spot for us. We want to, we really want to be in the Annapolis area, and we want to have, our vision is to have more of a, not necessarily right in the hustle and bustle, but more of a storefront feel where you could see inside and see the cooking classes happen.
Okay.
And then all the other services would be on another level or in another area. We also want to add other services to the center as time goes on and we see the need for it, so that really eventually people could just have, it's sort of kind of like, I don't know, like the big vanilla or the Y, where you have a bunch of stuff going on and you can kind of pick what you want to do, but from a wellness perspective, not just like from working out perspective.
Right, right. And the focus is Annapolis rather than, let's say, a secondary satellite in Columbia or
Yeah.
elsewhere. It's really keeping it all together as one center.
Yeah, and we just have been feeling led there. We've been looking around already at property to buy and where we could go. And plus we have really prayed and discerned a lot about spending a lot of money on a lease. And at what point does it make sense to us to purchase?
Right, right.
And how that could create more strength foundationally for the company in the future.
Right.
You know, if
Having
you
that
own a
asset.
space, right, having an asset versus
Right.
renting. So that's what we're planning on doing.
Definitely some long-term planning involved
Yeah,
since
and
we're
I'm-
still renovating here.
Yeah, I would like to do more groups and writing and things like that. But as we ease into this and we continue to have more help in the area where my expertise of counseling, and I can kind of pass that baton on, I'm planning on letting go of some of that and doing some more broad things, like
Right.
writing and groups. Yeah.
And more time
Macro
also on the
stuff.
admin.
Right, exactly.
part of the
Right, that's
business.
a transition for me.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So any other advice in general for business owners as they're planning growth versus just saying, you know, I am a one-person business and that's where I stay? What helped you in the transition? Was it books? Was it radio? And specifically, what made you take that jump?
So that's a really good question. I think if you have a dream, you should try to follow it, and it can be scary and risky, and you just have to soul search and figure out what you're comfortable with. And then as long as you're planning and you're getting wise counsel and making the step-by-step plan and being patient and letting it unfold, you're not going to get from the one-person business to the end result overnight.
Right.
It's going to take years and years and years.
Yes.
And if you're okay with the ups and downs and the emotional highs and lows and the times that are fruitful and not, you know, you'll be okay. And just for resources, I do a lot of reading. My husband and I do a lot of reading about sound business practices, just some of the major, you know, like Forbes and just other articles on money and finances, and we get a lot of advice from our financial planner and people that we know that are sound in that area, because you can have a dream and it could be a foolish thing. You have to make sure that the numbers make sense.
Right.
Yeah, and then just to plan and go for it.
Yeah, it's great advice to continue learning on one end and to also surround yourself with advisors that are experts in their fields, because we can't all be experts in everything.
No way.
And every one of us runs into things that are hard to do.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it and wish you much luck for your growing organization.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
so
being
much.
here. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.